Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Boy Maximo and I'm here checking out Formula 1 2011. Just to check the current date, it is March the 3rd, 2019. But they didn't release any other Formula 1 games on Vita, so this is what we have to work with. This came out around launch time. It was pretty close. I can remember this game being around way back when the store first launched and I didn't buy it then, and well, it took me a while to actually buy it, but, well, I've bought it. So, let's just hit the start button and hope to God it didn't delete my save data. Very good. So, I've been playing this for about 2 hours at this point, as you can see. I think it's been a little bit more than that. I don't think it tracks time in the menus, but nevertheless, we have about 2 hours of fair few races under our belts, and hopefully enough knowledge of what's going on in Formula 1 to at least explain this game on a basic level. So this is meant to be a replication of the Formula 1 Racing League. As to how accurate it is, I have no idea. I do not give a shit about sports, never really have. But that said though, this is actually a pretty good game, just based purely on the whole, is it a decent game by itself option. But let's go and actually have a look around first. So we have our options menu where we can view our profile and even edit it. And there's a few things you can edit. Strangely enough though, you can't edit your face, and I don't even think you ever see a player model. You see like your hands at most. I don't remember where you see a helmet, but there you go. You've got a fair few names you can edit and that will show up on the leaderboards and all that. You know the drill. You can also view the resume, which tells you all of your stats, the fastest you've gone, your favourite circuit. For me it's Melbourne because I spent my most time there just getting used to the game, and how you've been doing in all your races. I admit I haven't done too many races, but I've done enough to get a pretty decent grasp on the game. I've also done some challenge mode challenges and a couple of time trials just to see how they worked. You got your controls here. By default the gear shifting is on the left L and R buttons, but thankfully you can change it so that accelerate and brake are there instead. There is also KERS and rear wing. I know what rear wing does. It makes you go a little... It helps you be a little bit more stable at higher speeds. I've got no idea what KERS is though. I think that might be an automatic thing turned on by one of my assists. And you also have a third and fourth option. Not entirely sure what any of those are good for, so let's just stick with the one that doesn't rely on the rear touchpad. You have plenty of aids, actually. I just realized how stupid that's going to come out of my mouth. Driving aids, not disease aids. But yes, you can turn off and on a fair few things here, including the ability to go manual transmission, which a lot of people like. I don't. I've always preferred automatic. But yes, as you can see, there are a few things here. I fully recommend turning off steering assist and predictive braking immediately and getting used to going around without them. They make the steering in this game handle like some stupid thing. Like, it's hard to explain without actually being in the game, but yeah, it's hard to handle even with those settings on. You got your sound sliders here. You can even turn on the pit radio, which is nice. Heads-up display settings, pretty decent. Camera settings, there's a fair few of these, but there's no real point in showing these off, so I'll wait until we're actually in a race. And steering sensitivity, which I fully recommend either turning down or turning up, because that can actually make a real difference into how your car handles. It's actually a pretty decent set of settings going on there, and you'll see there's more as we get into the game. But let's go over what all these are. So quick race is exactly what you expect. One race on one track with someone you select. Time trial. You do a lap, and then you do as many other laps as you like. And if you're fast enough, you will get medals. Does it show me what medals I have unlocked here? Oh, well, you can select your car and your dudes, but we'll do that later. You can get up to gold medals, but there is also a trophy for beating the literal world record. So, that's kind of putting a little bit of faith into your audience there, Codemasters. Grand Prix is... I don't remember exactly how this goes. I think the Grand Prix is you do your Friday and your Saturday races, then your qualifiers, then the actual race. I think that's how that goes. Then you've got the Championship, which is all 19 tracks in the game as Grand Prix, one after the other. Then Career takes you through 3 years worth of championships. So one championship is 1 year. In Korea, you do 3 years. There are also challenges. And the challenges are actually quite different. So if we just go back a little bit, you need to get rank C or higher in 3 challenges in order to unlock the final challenge for the section of challenges. So, for example, I did Albert Park, Istanbul Park, and Hungaroring, and that unlocked The Heavens Have Opened. Then I got to move on to the second set, which I did Istanbul Park, and Circuit de Catalunya, and that unlocked the Shanghai International Circuit. So you just keep on going on like that. The challenges are actually a little bit different. We won't go for them right now, but I'm just pointing them out now so we can come back to them later. But there's a few of them that are interesting. You've got checkpoint races. You have races where gigantic warning signs are floating in the middle of the track and you have to avoid them. Pass as many cars as you can. Do corners perfectly. Get into gates while they're moving. They might actually move off the driving line, which makes things interesting. And there's also slipstreaming. And that's just 6 of the challenge types I've seen so far. I imagine there's more as we go on, but it's just worth noting that there's a fair bit of variety going on there. You do have online multiplayer, and local as well, which is actually a really nice set of features. However, no friends, and this game is 8 years old. There is no damn way. And you have your records. So these are also your records again. So here are your personal records as a driver. You've got your awards, which are basically your trophies. And I have actually unlocked this one here, which is start from 24th and win. So I'm actually pretty decent. I do have the game on a medium difficulty, and we'll get to that. But yeah, you've also got your trophy cabinet, which will list out all the wins and stuff that you've gotten on tracks that you've played. There are 19 tracks in the game, which is a fair amount of tracks, in all honesty. Not a huge amount, but it's got a fair amount of variety to it, and considering that this is real-world racing, the variety comes in the challenge of handling the car on each track, more than the tracks themselves. And here's your lap records, including the courses that I have earned medals on. Yes, there is a Nürburgring track, but it's only 1.5 minutes long. Coming from someone I'm someone who plays Gran Turismo more than I do realistic racing, and Nürburgring being 1.5 minutes long kind of set me off. That was a little bit bizarre. I also played on the Suzuka circuit because, again, Gran Turismo, they love that track. But yeah. And there's also the Formula 1 Vault, which is actually kind of neat. It tells you all the stats of everything. Drivers, cars, teams, and tracks. Just neat that it's there, honestly. Cool. So let's go into the career, since it's arguably the most in-depth mode, and it's also what I've spent my most time in. I'm currently number 1, which is nice, although I have had a couple of embarrassing situations, which we'll get to. You can see the calendar, what you are up to at this point. I don't remember exactly what the day is, and the funny thing is they don't really tell you, do they? That's Istanbul. I think I've already been there. I think I've been through Catalonia as well. Yeah, Monte Carlo, that's where we're going next. So yeah, we get the practice day, then we get the qualifying day, then we get the race day. Cool. You also have a laptop, and this laptop shows you emails and such. It's where people offer you deals and stuff along those lines. So if we read this, Blue Maxima earned HRT F1 team a podium finish. And the team management was quoted as saying, "We are going from strength to strength. This will not be the last time this season that you will see Blue on a podium. I appreciate the confidence considering that the race before this one, I came 24th because I ran up some guy's ass too many times and they gave me a 25-second penalty." You also have, yeah, with the HRT F1 team's driver's current level performance, that is as likely a scenario as any. It's funny because the very first email they sent out was something along the lines of, hang on. It's down here somewhere. I know it is. I think it's this one? No? No, hang on. It's here somewhere. There we go. In order for this season to be considered a success, we would expect you to earn a minimum of 30 Drivers' Championship points. I earned 30 in the first 2 races. And then, because I earned 50, because I came first twice. It's a little bizarre. So you can go to your player status, and apparently I'm a driving legend already. That's a bad sign. And you can see 1 out of 3 seasons, total races, total pole positions, total points, yada yada yada. Results of the races that we've been on so far. So as you can see, I came 24th, but then I came 2nd, which is nice. And there's all the races that we're going for. We're about to hit Monte Carlo. And of course, the standings of the individual drivers and their teams. So I am currently holding my entire team up because apparently the other guy I have on my team, I'm not even entirely sure who it is completely and utterly useless. Apparently my partner has just been upgraded though, so it's not very in-depth, but at least it gives you a little bit of reason to keep going. So let's stop wasting time and actually advance time. So we can do Thursday and Saturday sessions if we like in order to practice on the track, but we're not going to do that. We're going to hop straight into qualifying session 1 because doing all the sessions in a row doesn't really earn you much if you're a decent enough driver. So we're just gonna play the qualifier straight off the bat. There is a downside to this though. If I want to show you what the tuning menu looks like, I have 0 time to do it because they have a very tight time limit. So yeah, you get a little bit of a track preview, but we'll get to see it plenty throughout this. So as you can see, we've got 20 minutes to get on the track, but they have given us a bunch of tuning options going on here. I'm going to give us just a little bit more speed. They are actually going to give us a little bit more info if we if we tune the car in a way they don't like, but well, it looks like it'll all be okay. We can't actually tune everything in our car just yet because we aren't far enough into the career just yet, but that's just a general idea of what you can tune. The car does handle differently if you do tweak it. I was doing a race in the rain, and I tweaked my car to give me more grip, and it was much easier to handle under the threat of rain. Nevertheless, let's actually go and drive. You can even turn off rolling start, which is really nice, actually. So here we go. This is Monte Carlo. I have actually been on this track before, but considering I'm going to be talking while doing this driving, this is probably going to suck. Thankfully, I've got about 16 minutes to get used to the track again, so we can try and just drive a little bit. Try not to get too far behind. So, yes, this is F1 2011. It is a realistic-ish... I mean, again, I'm not one to talk. I don't know much about Formula 1, but they say it's a realistic-ish simulation-style game, and I do agree with them. It definitely does feel closer to the real world than it does a more arcadey driving game. This is no Drive Club. It is absolutely no Drive Club. This is no... Well, I mean, it is kind of comparable to Gran Turismo, but then again, I haven't played much of the high-speed stuff in Gran Turismo, so this might be a lot like Gran Turismo. I don't know, but nevertheless, the controls are very easy to operate. It just, the steering is on the D-pad or the analog stick. You can pick whichever one you prefer at any time, and you can hit the rear wing on triangle, square to hit the KERS. I don't know what the KERS is or what it does. Your shift up and down is on your X and circle, which is absolutely fine by me. And that's pretty much the entire control scheme. Oh, you can also change your camera views. How am I doing? Apparently I got 11 seconds better than the other qualifying time, so I'm currently in the lead on this qualifying round. So yeah, you've got a bunch of different camera views you can pick from. This view here is actually pretty cool, but I find myself not really having the view of the track I need ahead in order to actually really take advantage of this view. So I prefer this view here because it gives me just a little bit more extra view on what's coming up ahead of me. And I appreciate that a fair bit more than I do the... I appreciate that a fair bit more than I do the one that's a little bit closer to the wheel. Now, honestly, this game probably isn't going to look too great in video for more than one reason. Well, it's a game from 2011, which means it's not that impressive. But honestly, I mean, this is actually a pretty good looking game. I mean, there are obviously some areas where they've cut corners. Like, look at the crowd. It took me a minute to realize they weren't trees. But still, once you just, you know, take a breath, realize that the crowd and such is more of a... Once you realize that the crowd and such is more of just, you know, set dressing to blur by when you're hitting the accelerator at 200 miles an hour. Once you realize that, you actually get to really appreciate the graphics, because on a 5-inch screen, especially on the OLED, it actually looks really good, and the game runs really well, actually. Along the lines of almost perfect frame rate. I've seen like 1 or 2 frame drops, but it's minor. It's very minor, and I really do appreciate that, because good lord, is it nice to be able to play a Vita game that actually has decent performance for once. So, we came first in the qualifying round. You can choose to accelerate time for a few minutes in order to speed it up and see if anyone else will come close to your lap time. But due to the fact that I picked to play on the 2nd level of difficulty, I'm actually doing pretty well for myself. I'm surprisingly good at this game, at this difficulty level. The difficulty levels determine a few things, like how good the AI is, how much you're going to get penalized, what assists are forced on and forced off by default. Stuff like that, right? So yeah, we're going to do the 2nd qualifying round just so I can get a little bit more used to the track and actually get up to about 10th place, because I think 10th place is a good spot to demonstrate the game from, because if I was demonstrating it from 32nd place, demonstrating what makes this game as good as it is, or at least what makes Formula 1 as exciting as it is after having actually played this game, is being close to the front but needing to put in that effort in order to actually take the lead. And while I have played from a position 24 standpoint, it's just not as fun, because you end up just flying right past the other races. And admittedly, there are a couple of races that can be a bit dick and just stick in front of you like a madman. It seems like one of the things about Formula 1 is that everybody has to follow exactly the same line, and it means that you kind of have to stick in your line and wait for the person in front of you to make a mistake, then make your move on their position, which I can appreciate, but admittedly, when you're coming from someone like me who does like his arcadey races as much as his simulation races, it can be a little bit annoying when everybody seems to follow the same line, and it's like watching a line of 23 unblinking drones. Just a reminder, people, I don't actually watch Formula 1. I did recognize a few names, but, well, I did recognize a few names, but that's pretty much it. So let's advance time some more. The car setup is perfect. I'm fine with the way the car is right now. Yeah, not a chance they're going to beat me at this point. Yeah, they are 12... No, I'm sorry, 18. 18? 18 seconds behind me. I just had to make sure. They're probably closer in all honesty. Yeah, 14 seconds behind me. For some reason, I'm just really good at this track. Nevertheless, let's go and do the proper race. I'm going to start from 10th position, which is absolutely fine for me, personally. Because frankly, I'm kind of sick of dragging the team behind me. You can also see those weekend objectives up there. I have no idea what they do. I don't think they do anything. I can't be sure, but they don't seem to have any visible effect on the game itself. I'll let you watch the whole thing this time. Although, yeah, it does look a little bit overexposed on the... It does look a little bit overexposed on my monitor, but on the Vita screen, the color balance is just right. So let's go. Vet Pet Blue Boo. It's probably something like Boo. No, I'm okay. I'm okay. There are some extra rules that they do enjoy penalizing you over, including getting an unfair advantage by going off the road, which is why... That's the reason why I keep the racing line up mostly, just so I know what roads I have to go on. But still, it's also a good reminder of when I need to hit the brakes really hard for a bloody U-turn. But yeah. The most I've ever seen the game lag is when you're at the very back of the... Whoa! The most I've ever seen the game lag is when you're at the very back of the pack. And everybody's starting off. Everybody's got a... whatchamacallit. Whoa! That was not what I intended. I think I was slipstreaming there. But yes, the game is... Oh god, where was I? I don't even remember what I was saying. I'm surprised I didn't get penalized for that. I'm positive I should have gone penalized for that one, but... Yeah, as we can see, the AI just doesn't seem to be keeping up with me on this one. That's a little bizarre, in all honesty. I don't know, maybe they'll just add the... Well, maybe they'll just add the penalty bang. Oh yeah, I should point out, tire wear and damage are also things that are determined by the difficulty. I do have tire wear on, but damage is off due to the difficulty level. Might actually go and do a couple of races on hard, or whatever their third difficulty level is, because the first difficulty level just looked too easy. And considering how I'm doing on this level, it might actually be still too easy, but we'll see. But still, I actually really do appreciate the driving. Most of the cars feel the same, but I imagine that's kind of the point. They all want to be top performance machines, but the entirety of the driving engine feels great. It is very responsive. As I said before, my major problem... Yeah, they did not like that at all. The black and white flag is a sign that I've done something very wrong. But yes, as I was saying, the driving feels great underneath your fingers. The game is very responsive. The steering is a little whack, I will admit. It takes a little bit to get used to. It does this weird little thing where it'll inch forward and then it'll just swing instead of doing a more gradual curve, and it can be a little bit hard to get used to. First things first that you should do, though, is that you should immediately turn off, as I said before, the steering assist and the automatic braking, because it helps immensely. Wow, am I really 15 seconds ahead? That is something else. I'm not this good at video games. This is just the AI being too easy. We will go and play a couple of races on other circuits, and we are going to put the game difficulty up to whatever their third difficulty is, which is probably hard. But yeah, it feels great underneath the fingers. It does a good job in making me feel like I'm really controlling a high-speed machine of death, destruction, doom, and whatever the hell it is. And yes, I have been taking driving lessons recently, so that's kind of how I feel about driving cars. But it is a satisfying model. It actually does feel great. I'm surprised at just how good it feels. I wouldn't be surprised if this was like a proper port from a 360 or PS3 model of driving. And to be fair, it might well be. This version of the game was ported by Sumo Digital, and if you don't know who they are, they've made some fantastic ports for Vita, but the one that is most notable is their absolutely wonderful port of Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed. It is a brilliant little piece of work. Oh dear, it said finish and not first, which means I've been penalized. But yeah, now I can customize the gears, and they've given me a plus 25-second penalty for my actions, which means that I am 6th.
Nice drive. Well done.
Unfortunately, that means I've fallen behind, but, well, yeah, not that big a deal in all honesty. Although I imagine they're going to start getting pissed off with me if I keep doing that. So how do I do? The support of my fans is well placed. Seeing Blue Maximo in good form this season has made the HRT F1 team driver most people's favourite for a win at this week's Formula 1 Grand Prix du Canada. Nice. So yeah, that's the career. So let's go and do some quick races. Just make things a little bit faster and easier on us. So we can pick a driver. There are a fair few. Some of them look kind of strange. This guy looks like he's about to mug me in a dark alley. Same with this guy, actually. What is this guy's head? You know, we'll go with him. And we can just pick... let's pick one that will be familiar to people. Let's pick the Suzuka. Why not? So yeah, here's your race settings. So damage, tyre wear, weather, component failures, and penalties. Everything starts off pretty easy on beginner. Advanced is where I was at. Expert has everything turned on, and custom lets you do a little bit of everything. So let's do it on expert, and you can also do full length races if you feel like it, which is actually pretty neat. So if we were to put it up, we could actually probably do custom on the career mode, and then we could put the length up to 100%, and we could play literally every race if we wanted to. But yeah, damage okay, tyre wear. Weather is variable, penalties will be realistic, and component failures will be on. Let's see just how fast I screw this up. Thankfully, there's no chance of rain. Just straight into it. No tuning my car, no nothing like that. Okay. Let's see how well I do this time. Also, apparently I'm in position 18. I'm not sure what that's about, but... Whoa.
The stewards are not happy with your behaviour. You've been given a black and white flag. Vettel needs after turn 1.
No, apparently I got blamed for that one too. Honestly, I can buy that. That was kind of my fault. But yeah, you do kind of need to know the tracks in order to actually keep up with the people on the hard difficulty by the looks of it. A little bit of a shame that it's... Whoa! A little bit of a shame that it's so dear. And apparently I've taken enough damage to require me to make a visit to the pit stop. Which I can't really do on a 3-lap race. Oh dear. They're more than capable of hitting you from behind as well, by the way. That is absolutely a thing. So weird being out in front of the pack and being able to just more or less manage everybody else's pace. I mean, obviously, if you go too slow, they will absolutely catch up to you and just beat you senseless. Oh dear. Yeah, they're definitely going to penalise me for this one. I'm just trying to show off the game. As I said, I'm not great. This is more along the lines of what I'm capable of. Constantly running into people and... Whoa! We have 2 people out in the sticks there. Wait, what? Why did I get penalised there for? Did I skip the corner? I don't think I did. This is why I like relaxed penalties. Shit. Uh-oh. Oh boy, there goes my front plate. Let's try that again. At least you got to see 1 lap of the Suzuka circuit. Oh man, this is what happens when I'm tired. Right. Let's play more custom rules this time. So, let's go for... I don't know. We already showed off the 2 circuits I'm most familiar with. Marina Bay Street circuit. Why the fuck not? Alright. First things first. Custom. AI difficulty. We'll keep them on hard, but we'll turn off damage. We'll make weather variable. Component failures will be off, and the penalties will be relaxed. No, we'll keep the component failures on. And we'll do that instead. This is running off a memory card, and the loading times are actually pretty quick. And apparently I get to start out in 4th this time, not sure why. I'm getting on the... Whoa! Oh, shit.
Vettel's ahead of you.
A bunch behind there. I'd say, did you see that? But actually, there is no rear view camera in this game at all. Like, you can't even hit the right stick down in order to actually do it. It's a little bit weird, honestly. I've been playing so many games with rear view mirrors and stuff like that. It's so bizarre to have a racing game with none at all. This is a pretty nice cityscape. And oh, S-bend, S-bend. Kind of cut the... Sorry. Kind of cut the S-bend. Oh, whoa. Wasn't going to let you take my spot, bastard. But he is absolutely trying, so... Surprised I didn't get penalised for that one. That one looked like an advantage. So yeah, it looks like on hard the AI really does provide a decent challenge. He's keeping ahead of me. I mean, I admit I'm not the best driver, but I'm doing a pretty good job in sticking to the line and like not flying off the course or anything like that. And I am gaining on him, at least somewhat.
Car ahead is beginning to pull away. We need you to increase your pace.
Uh-oh. No, no. I tried to pass him and just... No, it wasn't happening at that point. After this race, we'll go do a couple of challenges, show off what those are like.
Massa's ahead of you.
Because they all take place on the same tracks, so it's not like I'd be showing you... Let me try that again. I'll be showing you more tracks on the challenges, so we don't have to just stick around in the quick races. Come on, just give me the opportunity. No, I'm just going to make you spin out and fly off the track. I'm going to use that opportunity to get ahead. Only to immediately get caught up to, judging by the minimap. I wish the minimap was a little more zoomed out, so I had a little bit more warning about what the next set of upcoming turns is going to be. It seems pretty close in to not worry about that purpose, but thankfully that turn indicator that shows up the top there is actually really good for that. And you can turn all this off if you like, and you want it to be just a pure driving... A pure Formula 1 experience without any sort of digital assistance. With that said, though, good luck. It's unfortunate that you can't see like your actual real-time speed in the steering wheel there, but then again, this is a 5-inch screen we're talking about, so I'll give them a little bit more credit than that. Surprised I wasn't penalised for that one. I'm a terrible driver, but thankfully I'm not actually out on the roads. Yet. Maybe I just picked a bad track. I'm doing alright here. Although... yeah, those realistic penalties were really doing a number on me. 5 or 6 in the first lap. Maybe I really do need some more practice. As far as I can tell, most of the trophies in this game don't actually, like, require you to do anything on the experts. Except for, like, win one race in expert mode. Something like that, you know? Nothing particularly over the top.
You need to pick it up through that sector.
My chair going out from under me. Yep, I took that corner way too quick, and I paid for it. Dearly. Right at the end, too. Like, I am not catching up to them now. Shit. All the branding is realistic and all that stuff as well. What's that supposed to mean? That yellow flag right there probably means I did something really bad.
You must return to the pits. The stewards are not happy with your behaviour. You've been given a black
Oh
and
no, I
white
think I know what that is. I think it was just
flag. No
pace limiting.
The incident has been cleared.
And let me guess, I got so many penalties that they're holding me back to 25. Yep. That means I'm going to be very last. I'm not even going to bother. You know what, let's just look anyway. Yep, last by 9 seconds. Well, that's what happens when you're a shit driver like I am. Let's go check out some challenges and round this video up, shall we? It's a very fast menu. Alright, so let's do something a little interesting. Okay, moving gates on the Nürburgring track. Why not? We haven't been on the Nürburgring yet. It works exactly the same way as the regular game, except you just gotta do whatever the challenges tell you to do, which includes passing through these gates. And you have to... You don't fail, but you get a penalty, and these challenges can actually be pretty tight. So you really do need to... And by tight, I mean on the rankings. How most of these work is the better you do in the challenge, the higher rank letter you get. So you need to make sure you avoid getting penalties as much as possible. Like, for example, just when I was starting out driving and trying to get used to the entire thing, just when I was starting driving and getting used to the entire game, I missed one gate and it was enough to knock me to a D rank, which is not enough to pass. There are actually a lot of ranks. There's D, B, C, B, A, and then there's 3 A ranks, which is A1 star, A2 star, and A3 star. It's a little bizarre, but nothing that is particularly bad. As you can see, it kind of sucks when the gates come off the racing line. You have to make an active effort to get into them, which can definitely throw you off. But it also does a nice little job of testing your driving skills. I can't believe they let me get away with that one. That looks like a bug. How'd I do? Rank D. Yep, I screwed that up massively. Sounds about right. Yeah. Achieve rank C or above to pass a challenge. Right, yeah, we'll do a checkpoint race. Why not? And let's try not driving like a bloody idiot this time. As you can see in the top right, the clock is slowly ticking down, and once it ticks down completely, that's the end. And we just get our rank based on how many gates we got through. Very simple. There are 10 sets of challenges, each with 6 challenges each. So there is a fair amount to keep you going. You've got getting gold on all the time trials. You've got going through the career or the individual championships and just trying to win all of them. And you have a relatively in-depth tuning system, each with... You have a relatively in-depth tuning system that does make a genuine effect on the car, and you have 19 tracks to learn inside and outside, because the AI will not give you even the remotest break if it can afford to, because the AI in this game can be a jerk. But For the most part, anyway, it follows the rules. It looks good. It does sound pretty good, although there's no real music or anything during the races. It's mainly just the sounds of the engines, but it sounds fine in that case. Nothing. I mean, the engine sound would probably get to some people eventually, but I mean, you bought a bloody F1 game. What do you expect? The general quality of the port is good. It runs well enough. It's by Sumo Digital, and even though it came out around the Vita's launch time, it still does really well for itself. And it still looks pretty good. It's not amazing, but I'd be lying if I said it was a bad looking game. Dated? Sure, but overall bad? Not really. Although I will admit, it will probably look a hell of a lot better on the Vita's 5-inch OLED than it would watching it on a 17-inch monitor blown up from a 5-inch monitor. Or screen, I should say. I've seen it go for really cheap in PlayStation Store sales, and if the game interests you in any way in that fashion, well, go pick it up. It does what it does really well. I'm actually surprised. I thought it was going to be a bit shit. I've heard from a fair few people whose opinions I trust that the game can be a bit, the games can be a bit shit and not really, quote-unquote, representative of the sport. I'm not going to claim to know what the deal is about that, but this is still a good game. I like it, and I'm honestly not particularly annoyed by it. So, yeah, I recommend it. Slipstream, Avoid, or... You know what, let's show Avoid, because even though it's on the Suzuka circuit, this just looks ridiculous, so might as well give it a little bit of a shot just to show you just how weird this gets. It doesn't get to Virtua Tennis 4 levels of weird, but it's still kind of a funny image to look at. Alert! Alert! Giant exclamation point in the middle of the track. God, look at that thing. Oh, shit. And yes, you still need to get through the track while avoiding all of these bloody things as much as possible. Again, it's kind of the same concept as the avoiding the colored gates one, except it's just, again, it's more or less designed to try and throw you off the optimal driving line. And to be fair, it's doing quite a good job of that right now. I could have sworn I did better at this the last time I gave it a shot, but... Well, then again, this is me. As soon as the camera goes on, I am suddenly incredibly incompetent. I've gone off track and slowed down too much. There is no way this isn't going to be a D. I'm just terrible at sorting out the timing on these. Oh my god. It's bearing down on you like some cheesy horror monster in a bad game. It just slowly encroaches on the corner of the screen. Wow, I'm doing terribly. This is absolutely going to be a D. I swear, these things are just coming right for me. It's starting to annoy me. Yeah, apparently the Suzuka circuit just doesn't like me, but whatever, I give up. I'm not even going to try to see my rank on that one. It's probably going to be a bloody H. Doesn't even go that low. It's just going to be that low just because of me. So that was a look at F1 2011. It's pretty good. Does what it does pretty well, and it's a surprisingly good port for Vita considering it was a literal launch title. Looks a little bit dated today, but on the Vita screen, it does look a fair bit better. So if you're looking for an F1 game on the go, and they haven't put one out on the bloody Switch yet, this will probably do you just fine. This has been Blue Maxima, and I will see you all next time.